When I was on that stage press conference, I kind of got emotional a little bit. Like, wow, I'm back here again where I started. And just how Stephanie White was speaking so highly of me. Like, I'm like, this is where I need to be at and this is where I belong. And I'm just so happy to be able to come back and handle some unfinished business.
When I was on that press conference stage, I got a little emotional. I couldn't help but think, wow, I'm really back where it all started. Hearing Stephanie White speak so highly of me just confirmed that this is exactly where I need to be. I belong here, and I'm thrilled to be back, ready to handle some unfinished business. Remember when Cheryl Swoopes claimed that nobody wanted to play for the Indiana Fever? Her statement spread like wildfire, with critics jumping on board to discredit the team. But now, Natasha Howard has just made her look completely ridiculous.
People in the Fever were like, y'all.
That's not my point. There's a lot of other going on that players are like, this ain't where I want to be.
Over there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some new shit going on around there.
It's a lot. So you have players that are very significant on this Indiana Fever team that are like, I don't
want to be here.
This is where I want to be.
Not only did Howard choose to join the Fever, but she also passionately defended Caitlin Clark and her new teammates against all the doubters. I'm really excited to play alongside Caitlin Clark, Kelsey Mitchell, and Aliyah Boston, Howard said. These are players I used to compete against, and now I'm happy to be on the same side as them. This isn't just any player we're talking about. Howard is a 3-time WNBA champion, a former Defensive Player of the Year.
What kind of things do you feel?
I'm not in the locker room.
Okay,
I'm talking about more social media.
Okay.
It's a turn.
Right? It's a turn, right? It's really a turn of the tides.
Well,
right?
Gil, here's my point. The beginning of the year, right? Everybody saw.
I was really excited to also play with Caitlin Clark, Kelsey Mitchell, Aliyah Boston, like the player that, you know, that I also say stuff on the court to them when I'm like playing against them. So, but I'm happy that I'm playing with them, not against them anymore.
And one of the few athletes in the league to average 18 points and 7 rebounds last season. So why would an elite veteran like Howard deliberately choose to team up with Caitlin Clark? And how is she firing back at the critics who said nobody wanted to play in Indiana? Let's break it all down. The haters were quick to pile on Caitlin Clark, led by none other than Cheryl Swoopes, who confidently claimed that WNBA stars would avoid the Fever at all costs. The narrative was simple.
This is a tremendous, not only a tremendous player, but a tremendous person. And what she's done the last 9 years in her career has put her in the elite company of many athletes and many players in this league. So, you know, I want to say thank you to Natasha and to her family for coming back to us. Because when a player returns to a place that drafted them, that's special. And she chose us because she could have gone anywhere.
Clark's presence would drive veterans away due to the immense media attention, spotlight, and sold-out arenas. It became the go-to excuse for those looking to downplay her impact. But then something unexpected happened. Something the critics never saw coming. Natasha Howard, a proven champion and a respected veteran, didn't just sign with Indiana, she chose Indiana. She willingly returned to the team that drafted her back in 2014.
At the end of the day, the way Indiana came at me with everything they promised me and they keeping their promise, they sold me. And I took the bait for it, and I'm happy to be back where I started and also being back with Coach. So, and Kelly, and also Amber as well, bringing her along. It's just a blessing to be back where I started, and also for my family and friends to also see me back where I started at as well. It's just amazing and a grateful feeling to be back in a Indiana Fever jersey.
The same organization where her professional journey began. And that decision completely destroyed the narrative that the Fever were undesirable. The moment Howard put pen to paper, the Indiana's toxic storyline was shattered. She made it crystal clear during her press conference. I just feel like I'm supposed to be here. Indiana came at me with everything they promised, and they kept their word. I took the bait, and I'm glad I did.
That's a good one right there.
I'll be back like
Number 33, the original. Back at it.
Oh, jersey.
Look, the original.
Right, we was with Adidas.
Look at that.
2014, y'all.
2014, right?
Yo, what's up, fans? You know, I'm happy to be a Fever. You see me? See me? You see me? You see me with this on? Yeah, I'm back, baby. I'm back where I started. Let's go.
This wasn't a last resort decision. Howard had plenty of offers from other teams, but she willingly chose Indiana. That's a massive statement. The emotional weight of her return was evident when she was presented with her original Fever jersey from 2014. Wasn't just a contract, signing. It was a full-circle moment, connecting her past to what could be an incredible future. I took every opportunity I had during my rookie year, and I'm grateful to be back here playing alongside these amazing players, Howard said.
Coach Steph is always being on my butt about hustling, working hard. You know, do the little things, because the little things gonna take you a long way. And when I got the minutes that I played my rookie year, I took every advantage of it, and I'm happy to be back next to her, playing with her and her coaching me.
3 WNBA MVPs in your career. Would you consider each of those 3 seasons as dominant seasons for yourself?
No.
I can't. Bro, Cheryl Swoopes is willing to lie about her own career before she even admits that Caitlin is done.
But let's be clear, Howard wasn't just an afterthought in Indiana's off-season plans. She was their top target from day one. Fever GM Kelly Krauskopf confirmed. From the very beginning, our focus was on resigning Kelsey Mitchell and bringing back Natasha Howard. This was the moment we had been working toward. For Indiana, Howard is more than just a veteran addition. She's a game changer.
We have the talent, but first of all, we have the people to actually do it. So my thing is, like, I'm happy, like I said, to be a part of this and also bring the leadership and the desire to, you know, to show the young group what it takes to win a championship. I have 3, so my thing is like to show them you can't take no days off in practice. You gotta think, when you practice, it's the way how you play. So my thing is like coming in, I'm just gonna show them like this is how you work hard. So when you work hard, it's gonna be easy in the game. It won't be as hard. So my thing is just bringing that championship mentality to the locker room and to the.
Her championship experience and leadership will be invaluable for a young squad still learning how to compete at the highest level. My job is to bring that championship mentality here, to show these younger players what it takes to win. You can't take days off in practice. The way you practice is the way you play, Howard emphasized. Amber Cox, the Fever's COO, couldn't contain her excitement when introducing Howard. People say you should have a 1-page resume, but Natasha's resume?
List of accomplishments are long. People say you should have a 1-page resume. Natasha cannot have that. Mm-hmm. It is several pages. 3-time champion, 2-time All-Star, Defensive Player of the Year, Most Improved Player. I mean, again, the list goes on and on and on. It was day one when I got this job. Kelly and I were on the phone, and we had 2 things on our to-do list: re-sign Kelsey Mitchell and bring back Natasha Howard. We have been focused on this day and this moment since the day we started this process.
It's several pages long. And that resume speaks for itself. 3-time WNBA Champion, Defensive Player of the Year, 2-time All-Star, and an elite 2-way player. That's the caliber of player who just chose to play with Caitlin Clark in Indiana. The most powerful part? Howard wasn't just happy about the move, she was proud of it. I'm just honored to be here. I've been on teams that didn't fully appreciate me, but Indiana made me feel wanted from day one.
A 10-point lead now for Mersin. And it's stolen away. Howard leading the charge, hands it away, gets it back. Oh, a one-handed off 2. A little bit of showboating for Mersin. Gotta love.
While critics spent months claiming nobody wanted to play with Clark, Howard and the Fever were quietly putting together what could be one of the most dangerous teams in the WNBA. Howard's game is a perfect fit for Caitlin Clark's style of play. Howard is a transition scoring machine. She sprints the floor, maintains elite body control, and finishes at the rim with ease.
Last season, with a minimum of 25 games played, Natasha Howard was one of just 13 players to average 18 points per game. She was one of 16 players to average 7 rebounds per game. And the list of players to average both 18 and 7 last year short, and elite. A'ja Wilson, Breanna Stewart, Napheesa Collier, Brittany Griner, and yes, Natasha Howard. Versatility is a major calling card for Howard.
That's exactly the kind of target Clark has been missing in Indiana. Last season, Howard was one of just a handful of players to average at least 18 points and 7 rebounds per game. A club that includes superstars like A'ja Wilson, Breanna Stewart, and Brittany Griner. That's the level of talent we're talking about here.
All of that, and we haven't yet touched upon what Howard does best: defend. Howard was named Defensive Player of the Year in 2019 and has finished in the top 10 of the Defensive Player of the Year voting 3 times in her career. Howard has averaged at least 1 block and 1 steal per game in each of her last 7 seasons. And that versatility is really what makes her a weapon on defense.
But what really sets Howard apart is her defensive dominance. She was named Defensive Player of the Year in 2019 and has ranked in the top 10 for that award 3 times in her career. For 7 consecutive seasons, she's averaged at least 1 block and 1 steal per game. For Indiana, this is massive. Last season, the Fever struggled defensively, ranking near the bottom of the league. But now, with Howard's 6'2" frame and near 7-foot wingspan, Indiana's defense just became a nightmare for opponents. This isn't just a good signing, it's a game-changing one. And the Fever didn't stop there. They didn't just add Howard, they stacked their roster with championship-caliber players. DeWanna Bonner, a proven winner, chose Indiana. Sharpshooter Sophie Cunningham, who has deep playoff experience, signed on. Veteran point guard Sydney Colson, a 2-time champion, also joined the squad.
That wingspan and 6'2" height allows her to be disruptive defensively around the rim on opposing bigs too. In fact, Howard will enter the 2025 season 25th all-time in blocks in WNBA history.
The person that's sitting next to me is of high integrity, high class, great teammate. Players in this league love her, so welcoming her back, putting her on the floor with our guards, there's a reason why her nickname is Flash.
Think about this. In one offseason, the team that nobody wanted to play for attracted 4 championship-caliber veterans. That's not just a coincidence. That's a massive slap in the face to the doubters. These players didn't randomly pick Indiana. They specifically chose to join this roster, this coaching staff, and yes, to play alongside Caitlin Clark. Now, the Fever have the perfect mix of youth and experience. Aliyah Boston, Kelsey Mitchell, Lexi Hull, and Caitlin Clark bring the young talent, while Howard, Bonner, Cunningham, and Colson bring the championship DNA. The Fever are no longer just a promising young team. They're a legitimate contender. Cheryl Swoopes and the critics couldn't have been more wrong. Instead of players avoiding Indiana, they're lining up to be a part of something special. And Natasha Howard? She's leading the charge. The Fever aren't just looking to be competitive next season, they're expecting to win. This isn't a rebuild anymore, this is a championship push. The critics tried to downplay Clark's impact, but the proof is right in front of them. Not only did veterans choose Indiana, but they're already talking about championships. The team that nobody wanted to play for is now the team everyone should be afraid of. Are you ready for this Indiana Fever takeover? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. See you in the next one.